Kenyan ID number?
Yeah, but originally he came.
Sorry?
Originally. Even me, I'm a Luo, but I came through Sudan, Kenya. So I think
But it's a Kenyan?
He's a Kenyan. We are going to verify further.
Okay.
Because he had a family in Ethiopia. And we understand, not confirmed very much, that he had 3 wives. And in Ethiopia, he killed one of the wives.
Onyango further noted that despite the rising cases of femicide, statistics indicate that the number of men killed is higher than those of women, regardless, calling for enhanced surveillance in the country. The abduction of Delaware MCA also took center stage during the session, with IG Kanja indicating that investigations are still ongoing.
It's been 2 months since he disappeared. It's you people that have the MCA.
Kanja also highlighted that no one has been arrested yet regarding the murder of Rita Waini, almost 11 months after she was murdered.
Why do you think it has to take us all this long to get culprits?
It's the government that have these people, not anyone else.
Ian Keitani, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Now, even as former Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki handed over the pressing issue of killings to his successor, the new Deputy President outlined his priorities for the security docket during his tenure. Now, Kindiki described his 2 years as Interior CS as successful, highlighting his achievements in combating terrorism, addressing banditry and clearing the passport backlog at Nyayo House. Upon assuming the Deputy President's office, Kindiki made a call for national unity. Gladys Midecha reports.
Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki appears to have settled in his new role as the second in command of the Republic, choosing his Harambee Annex office for his maiden briefing. In what he termed a challenging assignment, Kindiki outlined his successes over the past 2 years as Interior CS. Amongst his first assignments was to fight banditry, which had grounded parts of northern Kenya to a halt. Students and teachers had fled schools and families had been displaced.
To arrest possible breakdown of law and order, a police-led security operation with the support of the military was declared on 13th February 2023. It has been 19 months of sustained war on bandits in the north of our country.
His entree remained busy throughout his term as he turned his attention to fighting terrorism.
To the commanders and officers of various security agencies and to the communities for their help as we look forward to sustaining the prevailing peace in these previously bandit-infested areas of our country. I will forever cherish the useful input of communities profoundly represented by the Under the Tree conversations I had with elders and residents at the foot of Arabal Hills in Baringo.
As the country, especially in the hinterland, took center stage, another related challenge was brewing at the capital. Thousands were facing challenges at Nyayo House due to protracted delays in the issuance of passports. Kindiki now says the situation has been normalized and the backlog has been cleared, new printers acquired and debts paid.
As I leave the reins of the ministry, I am proud to report that the corruption cartels of staff and members of the public that used to harass passport applicants have been dismantled, and 17 ringleaders, including immigration officers, are facing ongoing criminal prosecution.
Kindiki, who was sworn in a week ago, has lapped up to his new role. The new Deputy President, in his maiden briefing, focused on uniting the country after a period of heightened political tension that saw Rigathi Gachagua kicked out of office.
For the aspiration of forging a united Kenya to materialize, we must accept each other, recognize our equality, accept that diversity and difference among us are for building rather than destroying us. A united nation is better equipped to deal with the challenges and overcome the obstacles we face in an increasingly complex unpredictable, and insecure world.
Kindiki reiterated his position of serving the president as his deputy as the Kenya Kwanza government focuses on delivering its pre-election pledges. Gladys Midecha, K24.
Now, the Ministry of Health is under scrutiny over discrepancies in payment data for the county health promoters who are allocated 70 million Kenya shillings in stipends. As Bentura Kwamboka reports, the CEO of the Social Health Authority faced tough questions over the need for means testing within the Social Health Insurance Fund's indigent category.
The health agency.
It is now emerging that there were discrepancies in the payment of stipends to community health volunteers in the last fiscal year, despite a 70 million shillings budget set aside for this payment.
At Narumoro Level 4 Hospital, they have been offering services for the last financial year. If I calculate their stipend, it's supposed to be 70,140,000. Who are these other ghosts that are being supported in Nyeri? So this information is not coming from the field, it is coming from the ministry. There are disparity in figures.
Unable to explain conflicting figures regarding to the number of community health CHPs and the disbursement of funds, Public Health and Professional Standards PS Mary Muthoni found herself hot on heels when she appeared before the National Assembly Health Committee as she responded to questions about the 121,000 CHPs listed in the ministry's database.
Out of the 100,000 that you had actually enrolled, you have a deficit
of 4,000.
About 3,000 to 4,000.
The issue of the numbers, I have said that it would be important to go back and interrogate the system again, because this statement is actually misleading. All of us.
Admitting to challenges in the rollout of Social Health Insurance Fund SHIF due to system instability during its first month of rollout, Elijah Washira, the acting CEO of the Social Health Authority, explained that individuals categorized as indigent will be required to undergo means testing to determine eligibility.
Those indigents showed that indeed there are people who were supposed to pay much more than they were paying. So some government was paying 500 shillings, and if their lifestyles and others were looked at, it came out they fitted in the category of 1,700. What the SHE Act says, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members, is that everybody will go through the means testing process. When the means testing process
that is not in the Act.
However, under the new Chronic Critical Fund, 95% of NHIF cancer patients who previously exhausted their coverage and paid out of pocket will receive support.
For cancer patients, the data that we had was 95% of patients who are seeking NHIF cancer benefits were using less than 400,000. That's the first thing. The second thing is the reason why we have the Emergency Chronic Critical Illness Fund was so that anyone who exhausts their benefits at the SHIF contribution level is supposed to transition to the Emergency Chronic Critical Illness Fund, which is appropriated by Parliament.
To date, 6 million Kenyans have successfully transferred their data from NHIF to SHIF, and an additional 7 million individuals who were not previously in NHIF have completed their SHIF registration through the USSD code and SHA website. SHA has processed pre-authorization claims worth 2 billion shillings, with 169 million shillings already cleared for payment in its first month of operations. Bentura Kwamboka, K24, Nairobi.
All right, that story by Bentura Kwamboka takes us to our first break here on K24 Evening Edition. We'll be back in a few with more stories.
I couldn't cannot imagine leaving my children. Who I was going to leave my children with?
Kisumu Pacho. Get ready this November 10th. K24 TV brings you a powerful edition of Get Real, broadcasting live from Kisumu City. We'll be diving deep into a topic that affects us all: gender-based violence.
This is the reason why people kill men. Just for this reason, that you might have feel a sense of justice.
Hear from survivors, activists and community leaders as they share their stories, struggles and solutions to ending violence in our homes, schools and communities.
First of all, I want to show that I overcame. First of all, I want to show that there is pain in this process and that the reality of this thing, it takes time.
Join us as we tackle tough questions, uncover hidden truths and inspire real change.
They need something just more than apology, something just much more than money, something just much more than compensation.
Get Real, where voices are heard, stories are shared and solutions are found. Don't miss this important conversation only on K24 TV.
I know mkona talents, lakini mkona vibe. It's time to discover East Africa's newest talent. Ni mda wa Kenya kuchachisha. Anguka nayo kati toka, utuonyeshe hizi stunts zako. Africa's biggest talent show, Bongo Star Search, is coming to Kenya. Stand a chance to win amazing prizes and work with the biggest names in entertainment. My judges, wakiongozwa na Rita, Master J, Salama Jabir, and our very own Sanaipe Itande, watakuwa pale tukicheka na tukilia. Tulieni mpangwe wasee. From majenzi hadi wakoro, students na corporates, jitokeze tujue nani mzii. Tukutane Kenya National Theatre on Friday 29th and Saturday 30th November. Kosa uchekwe brother. BSS Season 15, sasa Beyond Borders. Si mchezo. Tune in to ST Swahili Channel 160 or 400 every Sunday at 9 p.m. and on Wednesday for an extra highlights show at 8:30 p.m. Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
Kurumisha ndege. Aviator instant game. Be a daring pilot and earn by how much high you can lift the plane. The higher you fly, the higher your win. The sky is the limit. Mozart Bet.
We asked the children, how many of you brushed this morning? And this little boy, his hand didn't go up. And I said, well, why didn't you brush this morning? He said, my brother was using the toothbrush. If I'd waited for him, I would have been late for school. I'm sorry, I get a bit emotional when it comes to that. To be able to change a child's life, to be able to bring back that confidence about their smile, for me, is phenomenal.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on Evening Edition. Let's continue with the news tonight. Now, an 18-member committee has been established by Parliament to address the ongoing dispute over the equitable share of revenue to counties for the current financial year. Now, the team, composed of 9 MPs and 9 senators, are to resolve a month-long deadlock after disagreements surfaced regarding the proposed reduction of county funding by 20 billion shillings. Alan Owino with that report.
All the points
following the formation of an 18-member mediation committee established to address the ongoing dispute over the equitable share of revenue to be allocated to counties for the current financial year, the committee today met for its first session.
To provide for equitable sharing of...
The stalemate arose when MPs approved 380 billion shillings for county allocation, contrary to the Senate's initial request of 400 billion through an adjustment introduced in the Division of Revenue Bill 2024 after President William Ruto's withdrawal of the contentious Finance Bill 2024.
And we know for sure that the issue before us is both an issue of public resources in terms of DORA, Division of Revenue, but we also know that we are politicians. So let us strike a balance. We don't go to the extreme of either, so that at one point we are taking care of when we'll be tabling in the National Assembly, but on the other side, taking care of that, we need to unlock resources for our county governments.
Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna, forming part of the Senate team, in his response to the National Assembly Budget Committee Chair Ndindi Nyora's remarks, accused the National Assembly of blackmailing the Senate to get their way.
The Chair of Budget being here, I have heard you throwing around numbers and figures. I don't know where you're getting those things from. I'm sure you will tell me, because you've done this thing all your life, you know those figures at the fingertips. But here in the Senate, we insist on documents. When you make a reference to a figure, you must show us, because I will be very open with you. We don't trust you. We don't trust members of the National Assembly because we believe you have more information than us and you're not putting all the cards to the table.
Ndindi Nyora, on his end, laid bare the reasoning behind the National Assembly's revision of the equitable share.
If we want to sound sophisticated and we want to sound very official, I'll go with Honorable Sifuna. Let's raise the issues. Let's even conclude our mediation meeting today, and we proceed to the National Assembly. That is what we want. We are very agreeable. However, I don't think the mandate of this mediation is to finish the meeting quickly.
Sifuna wants an amendment to the Division of Revenue Act that stipulates who bears the brunt in the event of unexpected occurrences so as to shield county government shares.
As a fundamental principle, the Senate will never in any financial year agree to a reduction of the amount below the previous financial year. I think that is something we must understand from the beginning. So if we were at 385 last year, I want to know the thinking behind the National Assembly deciding that we can actually defund counties by returning the figure below what we achieved in the last financial year.
Meanwhile, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, in his maiden brief of his assumption to the office of the Deputy President, reassured county governments of future timely disposal of revenue, including pending bills.
Mr. Chairman, the projected shortfall...
The committee has a 30-day mandate from its initial session to find a compromise. Alan Owino for K24.
Now, the High Court in Nairobi has directed that a petition challenging the impeachment process of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua be mentioned in January next year. Now, this comes after the petitioners requested the court to await the Court of Appeal's decision in a case where Gachagua is challenging the ruling that Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu did not violate the Constitution when appointing a 3-judge bench. Gachagua's death in the corridors of justice continues to take twists and turns as the justice he seeks takes its sweet time. On Thursday, the 3-judge bench of the High Court directed that the petition challenging the impeachment of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua be mentioned in January next year. Petitioners in the case argued that Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu acted within the Constitution when she appointed the 3-judge bench to preside over the matter.
The petitioners have intimated to this court that the Court of Appeal undertook to hear and determine the pending appeal within this term. They have prayed that this matter be mentioned in the new term for further directions. This was not opposed by the respondents. Accordingly, this matter is fixed for further directions on Thursday, 23rd of January 2025.
In the Court of Appeal session presided over by Justices Patrick Kiage, Agrim Chelule and George Adunga on Wednesday, Gachagua requested his case to be given priority due to its significant public interest. The former deputy president argued that the 3-judge bench that lifted the conservatory orders allowing his replacement was both unconstitutional and illegal, saying it should have been constituted by Chief Justice Martha Koome.
Yes, this is a pending appeal in the Court of Appeal against the ruling that you made declining to recuse yourselves. We are hoping that the Court of Appeal will hear us and agree with our case. And as such, my ladies, my lords, it would be imprudent for us to proceed when there is a challenge that is pending before the Court of Appeal, because the Court of Appeal may agree with us that we made out a case deserving your recusal.
Additionally, Gachagua withdrew parts of his appeal that he stated had been overtaken by events following the swearing-in of Professor Kithure Kindiki as the new deputy president.
With my co-petitioner, Dr. Clarence Iboso, we have decided to withdraw our application. We believe our application has been overtaken by events We believe that the blood that was spilled in 2007 and in 2024 and all the other elections should have bought us time to pause and think about the magnitude of the moment in history. And unfortunately, we were not allowed to address the court today as we have withdrawn our application.
The Court of Appeal will make its ruling on December 20th. Brian Amoai, K24.
I couldn't imagine leaving my children. Who I was going to leave my children with?
Kisumu Pacho. Get ready this November 10th. K24 TV brings you a powerful edition of Get Real, broadcasting live from Kisumu City. We'll be diving deep into a topic that affects us all: gender-based violence.
This is the reason why people kill men. Just for this reason, that you might have feel a sense of justice.
Hear from survivors, activists and community leaders as they share their stories, struggles and solutions to ending violence in our homes, schools and communities.
First of all, I want to show that I overcame. First of all, I want to show that there is pain in this process and that the reality of this thing, it takes time.
Join us as we tackle tough questions, uncover hidden truths and inspire real change.
They need something just more. Something just more than apology. Something just much more than money. Something just much more than compensation.
Get Real, where voices are heard, stories are shared and solutions are found. Don't miss this important conversation only on K24 TV.
Back to the future. The future is simulate. Bet smarter. Win faster now. Be a winner. Mozart Bet.
At People Daily, we believe small actions lead to monumental changes. As we commit to a greener future, embrace simple steps. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. It's time to go green. Kua Green. Switch off unused lights, opt for reusables over disposables, and support eco-friendly products. A choice, no matter how small, makes a difference. Inspire others with your green journey, and together let's shape a more sustainable tomorrow. Kua Green is an initiative of the People Daily.
Get ready for the thrill of a lifetime. Come and be part of Betika RX Fest as from Saturday the 9th to Sunday the 10th of November 2024 at the Kasarani Sports Stadium. Grab your tickets now at www.ticketsasa.com and eventsmtickets.com. Advance tickets for a single day are going for 500 shillings while 700 shillings at the gate, and advance tickets for the weekend pass are going for 1,000 bob while 1,400 shillings at the gate. Don't forget there will be an after party with DJ Joe Mfalme, K Washira and DJ Youngwan. Join us for an unforgettable experience.
Now, the High Court has dismissed petitions challenging the lifting of the ban on genetically modified foods. In its ruling, the court stated that the issue had already been addressed by the Environment and Land Court last year. While scientists in the country have welcomed the decision, the Kenya Peasants League have vowed to file a petition hoping to overturn the lift of the ban. David Gagina reports.
Has upheld the lifting of the GMO food ban, affirming a previous ruling by the Environment and Lands Court. Justice Lawrence Mugambi in his ruling said that, and I quote, "The court finds that the current petition is res judicata and hereby strikes it out with no orders as to the costs." End of quote. The decision has been welcomed by the scientific community. Dr. Richard Adwo, Registrar for Research, Innovation and Outreach at Kenyatta University and the chairperson of the Kenya University Biotech Consortium, Kubiko, describes the ruling as a landmark achievement that opens up new opportunities for the country.
You are giving these people who are graduating from our university's biotechnology opportunity now to set up startups so that they are able to actually implement on what actually they trained on.
Last October, the Environment Court dismissed a lawsuit filed by the Kenya Peasants League, ruling that there was insufficient evidence to prove the harm of GMO imports. The court deemed public participation adequate, citing a KICC session and a gazette notice. The Peasants League has, however, pledged not to go down without a fight.
Kesi yetu iliyokuwa pale kotini ya GMO, kitu ya kwanza haijasikizwa. Hakuna kitu wamesikiza kutoka Kenya Peasants League.
We want to state that while we respect the court, we are going to appeal this matter. We have already instructed our advocates, and this afternoon we have filed a notice of appeal at the High Court to inform the High Court and the other parties that we are dissatisfied with the ruling, and we are filing an application for stay next week because we believe we have grounds, contrary to what the judge was trying to insinuate.
David Kagina, K24, Nairobi.
Education CS Julius Migos has announced that 5 students who were hospitalized today after inhaling an unknown toxic gas received treatment and sat for their exams at the Coast General Hospital. Now, the incident, which occurred at 7:15 a.m. this morning at Makande Girls Secondary School, forced the school administration to relocate 84 students to Makupa Boys Secondary School to continue with their Kiswahili exams. Now, and as Harriet Chimea reports, an investigation is currently underway to identify the source of the gas and those responsible.
The 4th day of the national KCSE exams took an alarming turn for students at Makande Girls Secondary School in Vita Sub-County, Mombasa County. Before the Kiswahili exam commenced at 8:30 a.m., an unknown gas leak which was spreading close to the school affected the students, causing 5 of them to be rushed to Coast General Hospital for emergency treatment.
There is a very strong smell which has affected the whole area, not only even the school compound, the whole of this vicinity.
But we had ferried 5 students to Coast General Hospital because they were almost fainting after that incident. For now, what we'll do, we are going to condone the area, but the area that we suspect that there is that gas, because we have a team of investigators, and once we get to know who is the culprit, so definitely we'll take action.
The remaining 84 students were forced to sit the exam at Makupa Boys Secondary School. According to Education CS Julius Migos, the 5 hospitalized students were treated and sat for the exam at the hospital.
But going forward, because of these issues relating to pregnancies, issues relating to students doing exams maybe when they are sick, I'm going to look into the policies and come up with a policy where we can be able to defer an exam of a student in situations of emergency so that they can do that exam later on.
An investigation is currently underway to determine the source of the gas and those responsible. In Juja, Terry Charity, a student at King David Junior Secondary School, faces an unimaginable challenge. The 17-year-old, battling severe health complications, is sitting her exams with an oxygen cylinder by her side, a lifeline that helps her breathe. Terry's journey to the exams has been far from easy. Since birth, she has struggled with a condition that left her unable to walk.
Wakati amefika kidato cha form 3 aingie form 4 ndio alipatwa na shida na tukampeleka hospitali. Na sasa tukafikia tu ile shida ya kawaida, naenda anatoka, lakini tukakuta shida imeshidi, hawezi kaa bila oxygen.
Despite these challenges, she excels in her studies while connected to her oxygen supply.
Apparently, for that cylinder, we refilled with 5,500, and it happens every 3 weeks. And then, zile mashini mliona ziko huko kwa nyumba, zina consume a lot of power. to a point where the parents are paying, I think, roughly 8,000 to 10,000 to KPLC. There's also medication, 8,000 per month. Every month they are supposed to take her for clinic. She cannot use the public means or a taxi. They have to use an ambulance because of the oxygen. The ambulance charges them 6,000.
The financial strain of her medical bills has been overwhelming and the family is seeking support. Harriet Chimea, K24.
Still on matters education, parents of grade 6 candidates from Silver Bells Academy in Uasin Gishu County who unknowingly sat for fake Kenya primary school assessment exams are camped at the county's education offices today, demanding answers about their children's future. According to the parents, the Ministry of Education has left them in limbo since discovering that the private school in Kimumu Estate deceived students with an unrecognized exam. This development comes as 2 directors of the school were released on bail. Timothy Simwa now reports.
These parents from Silver Bells Academy in Kimumu Estate arrived at the Uasin Gishu County Commissioner's office early on Wednesday morning. In tow were their children. 23 of them were made to sit fake Kenya primary school assessment exams at the private school last week.
Najaribu kufuatilia mtihani tutafanya lini atupatie ukweli. Sisi tunaomba kama wazazi kwa Silver Bells Academy watoto wetu wafanye mtihani. Hiyo tu ndio tunaomba. Tuko na uchungu sana.
Out of concern and delay by the education stakeholders to give them a way forward, they pitched tent here to demand audience and answers.
Wengine walifanya ilikuwa ukweli, sisi tulifanya fake. Tulisikia vibaya. Na sisi nataka kuambia serikali watusaidie sisi tufanye mtihani.
Mimi nasikia vibaya kwa sababu tulifanya mtihani feki na tulidanganywa. Na naambia serikali ya kwamba tufanye mtihani wetu.
Hatuhisi vizuri. Kenya tunaitisha tu ni justice. Tunataka kufanya mtihani.
Both the county commissioner and county director of education were not available today, as junior officers promised parents that education stakeholders are handling the issue.
Mimi kama mzazi, tangu Wednesday, hii maneno ionekane kwamba wanafunzi walifanya mtihani fake, hatujapata mwelekeo mzuri. Asa sisi wazazi, tumekuwa tukizungukia hapa na pale kuhakikisha watoto wetu wamefanya mtihani.
The parents insist they deserve clarity on the future of their children who missed the official assessment needed to advance to grade 7 next year.
We are here kutafuta justice ya mtoto because huyu mtoto kufikia January atapata haki yake kama mtoto. Jambo la pili, Ministry of Education within Uasin Gishu County. Ni nini kinaendelea hiki chenye wametuficha?
Meanwhile, 2 directors of Silver Bells who were arrested following the incident last week were released on bail by the Eldoret Law Court.
Sasa unashangaa, watu walikuwa wanajua chenye wanafanya ama kwa wanajua chenye wanafanya, na maanisha kuna wenye wanalala kazini kwa maofisi zetu za elimu.
Uasin Gishu County Commissioner had promised thorough investigations into the matter, with the reports that some rogue education officials may have been involved in issuing fake registration certificate to the school that has since been closed down. Timothy Simwa, K24 TV.
Thank you, Timothy Simwa, for that report. Away from that, the Kenya Primary School Heads Teachers Association has called on the government to increase capitation funding for primary schools from the current 1,450 shillings to 3,000 shillings per student. Now, they also proposed raising the junior secondary school allocation from 15,000 shillings to at least 20,000 shillings per student to support the effective implementation of the new curriculum, which has brought numerous demands on schools. Now, Boniface Musangi reports from Mombasa.
We marked the final day of the Kenya Primary School Head Teachers Association KEPSHA conference, where head teachers, along with the Kenya National Union of Teachers NAT, presented their demands to the Teacher Service Commission TSC and the Minister of Education.
Our proposal as Kenya National Union of Teachers, these heads should be referred to as principals of comprehensive schools. Principals of comprehensive schools, given the fact that even their roles have changed.
Many head teachers have called for the increase in primary school capitation from 1,450 shilling to at least 3,000 shilling, while junior secondary funding should be raised from 15,000 shilling to over 20,000 shilling per student.
1,000, that is grade 1 to 6, the money actually is little. So we are actually urging the government to increase the capitation for primary.
At least to increase the capitation because of
mahitaji ambazo tunazo kama shule, sababu hizi shule zina shida tofauti.
Waende kwa ground wa confirm ni watoto wangapi wako kwa shule badala ya kutumia birth certificate. Na pesa tunapata hii 1,500 ni kidogo kabisa. It is not enough that can not even help us do all the activities that are in school. 15,000 still pia, that one is still low.
Speaking at the conference closing at Sheikh Zayed School in Mombasa, Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migosi assured the teachers of his commitment to work together in addressing their concerns. Migosi also urged teachers to oversee the completion of grade 9 classrooms by January and ensure the timely distribution of textbooks, while also pleading to look into the demands of university staffs.
We want to make the education sector hygienic. We don't want our teachers in the streets. We don't want our professors in the streets. They're supposed to be in class to teach our students. So we're going to ensure that we do our part as you are doing yours. I just wanted to say that because you had discussed it with me, and I know I have to deal with these issues every day, but I promise you I look at them objectively, and I am sure that we'll get the solutions that will help us in this sector.
Head teachers attending the conference were not left empty-handed. Many visited the Brookside Dairy stand, where they received various Brookside Dairy branded merchandise.
I've realized that there are several products that they give, especially the border milk for the school.
The conference has been so good, and some of the products, especially Brookside milk, have offered very good products, especially powdered milk. You know, that is very good for nutrition for the learners.
In institutions like schools, we have Brookside milk powder and Brookside long life milk. These two products are very, very important for promotion of health amongst our pupils throughout the country. And the feedback we have from teachers is that nutrition is very critical to school retention for our pupils. And as Brookside Dairy, that is why we constantly work with our innovations team to come up with products that can meet the demands, the growing and diverse demands of our consumers throughout the country.
Sadly, the conference was also marked by the passing of a head teacher from Migori County who collapsed and died while en route to the event in the morning. Attendees observed a moment of silence in his honor. Boniface Msangi, K24, Mombasa.
Have you watched K24? We would love to hear from you. Send us your feedback on what you like and what you don't like and why. You can use any platform to reach us. We can be reached on Facebook, Twitter, and WhatsApp.
I couldn't imagine leaving my children. Who I was going to leave my children with?
Kisumu Pacho. Get ready this November 10th. K24 TV brings you a powerful edition of Get Real, broadcasting live from Kisumu City. We'll be diving deep into a topic that affects us all: gender-based violence.
This is the reason why people kill men. Just for this reason, that you might have feel a sense of justice.
Hear from survivors, activists and community leaders as they share their stories, struggles and solutions to ending violence in our homes, schools and communities.
First of all, I want to show that I overcame. First of all, I want to show that there is pain in this process and that the reality of this thing, it takes time.
Join us as we tackle tough questions, uncover hidden truths and inspire real change.
We need something just more. Something just more than apology. Something just much more than money. Something just much more than compensation.
Get Real, where voices are heard, stories are shared and solutions are found. Don't miss this important conversation only on K24 TV.
Multi-bonus
Zidisha ushindi wako hadi 1,000 na multi bonus 1000%. Kuwa mshindi. Mozartbet.
In the ongoing push to create more logistical efficiency and cost effectiveness, most East African countries will see more cargo transported by SGR cargo train. Now, this follows an announcement by the government on its intention to extend the line to Kisumu and Malaba. Now, this happens even as plans to hand the railway back to Kenya Railways from the Chinese firm are in top gear.
The construction of the next phase of the standard gauge railway from Naivasha to Malaba is set to begin next year. This after Kenya concluded talks with the Chinese government that funded the first and second phase of the project from Mombasa to Naivasha.
As you are aware, the standard gauge railway is one of the flagship projects under the Belt and Road Initiative that Kenya is having with China. We have extended the line to Naivasha, and we are in top gears to ensure that we extend the line all the way to Kisumu, a distance of 362 kilometers through phase 2B, and then onwards to Malaba.
This week, President William Ruto hosted senior officials from the Chinese Communist Party who also visited the SGR Nairobi terminus for feasibility assessment ahead of the groundbreaking ceremony.
So this was a tour to the SGR terminus by His Excellency Lichi to witness and inspect this very critical infrastructure, not only for Kenya. As you are aware, the SGR is a regional project, not only a Kenyan project, to ensure that we connect people, we move goods, and we also move capital across the region in line with the AU Vision 2063.
Launched with pomp and color in 2017, SGR has become the most sought-after means of transport, mainly due to the cost factor, thanks to its convenience and capacity to move masses. SGR continues to play a crucial role in boosting domestic tourism. Traditionally, December marks the SGR